Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. The day has finally arrived to start installing the ceiling tin. A couple things need to happen before I can do that. One is I need to tidy up a little bit. I'm not going to do a big clean, but I just got to get some stuff out of the way. But a more important thing is I need to mark the center of each one of the joists on the F and J. Once I get the panel up there, I'm not going to be able to see the joist anymore, except for on the end. And I want to be able to transfer a center line from the end of the joist all the way over so that I can get a nice straight line of screws. I only need to do it on, well, in this case, the first three, but I'll have to do it on all of them eventually, but each panel only takes up 3 joists. And I need to unbox, assemble, and test my lift. I'm not exactly sure if this is going to go high enough or not. I think it will, but I may need to alter it just a little bit. So I'm going to start with the marks on the F and J, and I think I'll just get back with you when all this stuff is done. Alright, again, everything is taking way longer than I thought, but I did get this thing assembled. It was damaged in shipping. This is bent, and these are supposed to work freely like this once you loosen the nut, but this nut won't loosen. There's something wrong with it. I can bang it with a hammer and get it to turn around, but it doesn't loosen. So I'm going to have to load the panels up and over rather than tipping this to the side, catching them on this, and then tipping it up. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. They're not that heavy. So what I'm thinking is I'll raise the panel up, slide it into the groove. I'm going to have to do all my work from a ladder. Slide it into a groove and then get it onto the lines that I have on there. Get it exactly on those lines and then clamp it where it is on them lines, and then I'll have to throw my screws back towards the wall. Otherwise, if you put like a screw by the wall and then a screw out here, the panel could have a dip to it. It shouldn't because of these, but it very well may. So, without further ado, let me grab a panel, put it on here, and give the first one a shot. Okay, I didn't film this first one putting it on here, but it was real easy. These panels weigh, 38 pounds, I believe. They're not real heavy, so you just kind of curl them so they don't kink and just kind of drop it up on top there. Not that big of a deal. You could see that it's kind of arcing. It's going to be pretty floppy going up there. Hopefully this all works out right. I can't think of another way to get these up there. All right, let's crank her up. Kind of spooky, but not as spooky as having a big sheet of 5/8 inch drywall on there, which weighs 3 times as much. Yeah, I thought that was just a problem with our old one because our old drywall lift had like a bent handle. It was just in really bad shape. But this cable would get wound up all in one spot right at the edge here, and then all of a sudden it would drop down, and that would cause that whole top part to drop down a little bit. It's really loud and kind of scary, but nothing's gonna happen. At least nothing has happened. All right, this is what I'm doing. I have it in the slot right here, and I have a clamp on it. You could see a lot more needs to go in. That's because that end is way out. I'm gonna have to get under this and push it into the slot on the side. The side is gonna be a bit harder because an entire rib has to go into the slot. Before I move the ladder, you could see there's my little mark right there. When it comes time to putting the screws in, all I have to do is go from right here, dead center, and put a line over to that, and that way my screws will all be in a nice straight line. All right, let me show you what I got before I start throwing screws in this thing. I have it clamped right to my laser line in all three places that I can clamp it. Still there. And I had to throw another piece of wood. This thing is really floppy, so I had to throw another piece of wood in there to push it up fairly tight up against the joist. But once I start throwing the screws in here, that should flatten it out pretty good. I hope it will even out on the end here. So what I'm going to do is throw a screw along the edge in these two places. It goes about a ½ inch away from the ridge down in the valley there. Put one in there, put one in there, and then I'll go to the other side and put it next to that ridge, and I'll work my way all the way to the wall. That way I should take all the kink out of it and flatten it out and get it pushed into the groove of the F and J real nice and tight. Okay, I've never worked with these screws before, so hopefully they self-drill really well. These are button screws from the tin manufacturer. I probably have to get more of these because I'm going to be double screwing this. Normally, you just put one screw on whatever side. Well, it would be this side right here, so you'd put one there, 2, 3, 4, and that's it for each panel. I'm going to be putting 8 screws in for each panel because I have some fairly heavy insulation going up there, and all my joists are 4 foot on center, so a little extra screws is warranted. All right, I have this panel in, and I have all of the screws in over there. But this end, this is going to have an overlap, and until I get that panel on there, I can't put screws through here. But I believe what they do is staple it right in the middle of each one with industrial staple that'll pull this nice and flat, and then once you put the next panel on, that disappears completely. So I'm going to run and get my stapler, do a couple tests on some sample pieces, and then probably do the staples on this. Then, what else do I got to do? I don't have much time. I spent the entire day already just getting this one panel up, but a lot of that was setting up the lift and figuring out how to operate it. I've operated them before, but this one's a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to go get that stapler and see if I can find something else that's low odor mineral oil. I use that to get rid of the pencil lines, but I don't want it to leave an oily film up there, which could attract sawdust at some point. So I'll grab some denatured alcohol, see if that works, grab the stapler, and we'll get going. Well, unfortunately, I rolled my sample, but I already knew it was going to work. It countersinks them below the surface, so once this is assembled, you wouldn't see them at all. So I went and got that stapled in place. I did make one mistake though. Hopefully it won't come back to bite me. Generally, you just staple these in the middle, but I put one kind of right where a screw's gonna go. Hopefully my screw goes right past that. But otherwise, that's really nice. Let's see if we can look over the top here. Really nice. All right, one entire day and I have one panel in, but I kind of figured on that because of the learning curve and assembling this and putting the blocks on it and all that stuff and running to get materials, getting clamps, a lot to do on this first day. I'm hoping to get at least the other 2 panels in, but with any luck, I'll be able to get that all taped up and start putting insulation up there tomorrow. Let me show you what I gotta tape up. Because I'm using this as a vapor barrier, I'm gonna tape up that edge, which should go real quick, and on the ends, I'm just gonna squirt a little bit of foam in there because I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it or not. There's a pretty big air gap that it can go behind the F&J molding and right up into there. It'll be real quick and easy to just foam that up. I was thinking about this last night, well, actually worrying about it. I'm hoping that a flat lands right where that hardware goes. Otherwise, that's going to be real difficult if that L bracket lands right on a ridge like this. Can't really measure it right now, but we'll see in a couple days. So tomorrow, like I said, I should be able to get these next 2 panels in, and I'll be using this for the first time. It's a shear attachment for a drill or a driver. That'll be pretty interesting. I'm going to be using this fat backer rod, just little chunks of it, in the ends of this, what I just showed you up there. I'll just cut little chunks off, shove it in there. That way it'll take much less foam. So tomorrow should be pretty interesting. If I can get this first row in really nice and perfect, everything that comes after that is going to go so much easier. And once I'm done with this first row, there's a lot less to do on the remaining rows, except for the ones that have something passing through it. Okay, tomorrow's another big day, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.